The end of 2022 is upon us, and a lot of games released this year. So now, it's time for the FakeFantum Awards of 2022. What does it mean if a game wins? Absolutely nothing, but it's fun, so here we go. Hello everyone and welcome to the video. Today I'll be awarding games through numerous categories, including Best Soundtrack, Best Narrative, the Viewer's Choice Award, voted for by the lovely subscribers in my community, and of course, the coveted FakeFantum Game of the Year Award. Please be aware that the nominated games will also include games which didn't release this year, because I played a lot of non-2022 games this year, and if I didn't include them, there would only be the same handful of games constantly being nominated in each category. So I hope you understand. With all that out of the way, I hope you're ready folks, because this is a bit of a special one. Here are the FakeFantum Awards of 2022. First up, we have a category dedicated to the best downloadable content which I played this year. This is Best DLC. The nominees are the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass and Xenoblade Chronicles 3 DLC Wave 1. And the award for Best DLC goes to the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass. How could I not? This DLC is just awesome. They could have not made it, and 8 Deluxe would keep selling well, but after 8 years they decided to give us some new Mario Kart 8 tracks, and so far they've been absolutely incredible. Playing tracks such as Maple Treeway, 3DS Rainbow Road, and Waluigi Pinball have been some of the absolute highlights of the year for me. Absolutely awesome. Next up, we have Best Soundtrack, and the nominees are Bowser's Fury, Doom Eternal, Dark Souls Remastered, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And the award for Best Soundtrack goes, very predictably, to Xenoblade Chronicles 3. This game's soundtrack is just phenomenal. It stands at an impressive 12 hours long and contains some of the most hype battle themes I've ever heard in a JRPG. There is not a single bad battle theme. The way they managed to use the recurring instrument of the flute, which I was very skeptical about at first, to enhance every single track it's used in is truly something. And some of the cutscene soundtracks are going to be ones which I will never ever forget. The Weight of Life and Where We Belong are two of my absolute favourite soundtracks to come out of this year, and deservingly so. Now, we have a category which rewards a game for its dedication to storytelling to create something unique and compelling through the medium of video games. This is the award for Best Narrative. And the nominees for this category are Dark Souls Remastered, Doom Eternal, Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And the award for Best Narrative goes to... okay, this is getting a bit predictable now. Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I mean, it was pretty obvious, wasn't it? Xenoblade games are always known for having a good story. The numbered games are yet to have a bad one, and Xenoblade 3 is no exception. This game made me cry so many times throughout the story. The characters all have incredible character development as you progress through the story, and you really feel like you're on that journey with them. The big story climax is probably one of my favourite moments in any video game story. The build up to that moment, combined with the music and the imagery, all meld to create one of the most powerful moments in any video game I've ever played. And the game's ending, while controversial, is, in my opinion, the best ending in any Xenoblade game. Xenoblade 3 is 100% deserving of this award, and its narrative is probably up there for me with Persona 5 Royal. And I thought that no narrative would ever surpass this game for me, yet here we are. Now, moving swiftly on, we have the award for Best Platformer, which is a category I seriously wish was won at the actual Game Awards, so I made it here. The nominees for Best Platformer are Bowser's Fury, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Metroid Zero Mission, and Yoku's Island Express. And the award for Best Platformer goes to Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Honestly, it's an absolute crime that I didn't play this before this year. This game is probably the best platformer on the market as far as I'm concerned. The level design and character movement is so incredibly well done, and it just makes for a really satisfying and rewarding game with so much to discover and find in each level. I also find the sound effects and soundtrack really satisfying in this one. Maybe it's from nostalgia, or maybe they're just really good. Not sure, but I like them a lot. This is one which, if you're any sort of platforming enjoyer, you absolutely have to play if you haven't already. Now we have the award for Best Multiplayer, and the nominees are Dark Souls Remastered, Doom Eternal, Mario Strikers Battle League Football, Splatoon 3, and the Jackbox Party Pack 9. And the award for Best Multiplayer this year goes to Splatoon 3. This one was a bit of a difficult call, and to be honest, the award nearly went to Dark Souls Remastered, but here we are. Splatoon 3 is a game which I seriously hope to review in its entirety at some point, because it really is something special. It's the best Splatoon experience out there, and Splatoon is already awesome. It's got the best base game campaign, the maps are awesome, the weapons are all super creative, and everything has been refined significantly to give us the most user-friendly experience yet, with the game's huge improvements in the quality of life department. So yeah, if you're going to play Splatoon, this is the one to play. This next category is a bit of a confusing one. It takes all the games which didn't release this year, but I played for the first time this year, and rolls all the best of them into one category. This is the best game of yesteryear, and the nominees are Bowser's Fury, Dark Souls Remastered, Doom Eternal, Yoku's Island Express, and Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected. And the award for best game of yesteryear goes to Doom Eternal. This game was nominated for Game of the Year in 2020, and rightfully so. It is easily my favourite first-person shooter game ever made. The campaign has an awesome story, is full of terribly interesting lore, the soundtrack is genuinely to die for cool, and the gameplay is incredibly fast and blood-pumping rip-and-tear action which is endlessly replayable and satisfying. This might genuinely be one of the best games I have ever played. I cannot stress enough how much I recommend this game to anyone who has yet to play it. The Switch port for this is also very impressive, as it runs pretty much perfectly for a modern multi-platform release. The next award is for Best Action-Adventure Game. This is quite an all-encompassing genre, so it's been fun to narrow it down. The nominees are Dark Souls Remastered, Metroid Zero Mission, Pokémon Legends Arceus, and Yoku's Island Express. And this year, Best Action Adventure goes to Pokémon Legends Arceus. This game is just phenomenal. Genuinely, it is the most fun I've had with a Pokémon game for a very long time. At the time of writing, I'm still yet to play Scarlet and Violet, and I can't wait to see how it compares to this, because wow. This is how all future Pokémon games would be like if it was up to me. If you want to hear more of my thoughts on this, my very complimentary review will be linked above and below. Now, suddenly, out of nowhere, we have a category which I kinda added halfway through the production of this video, which is fitting since most of the nominated games are halfway through development. This is Most Anticipated Game. The nominees are Earthblade, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silksong, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and the unannounced 3D Mario game which we all know is in development. And the award for Most Anticipated Game goes to The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. This was a hard category to decide the winner for, because I've been really hyped for the next 3D Mario recently, but it's harder to be excited for something which we haven't seen anything for yet. So just like in the real Game Awards, Tears of the Kingdom is the winner. There's so much we're yet to see for this game, but from what we've seen so far, it's clear that there is bucket loads of potential. The way Nintendo has been so secretive about this game has only made me even more hyped for it, especially since it's been in development for such a monumental amount of time for that of an asset reusing sequel. There's so much they could have added to the already incredible Breath of the Wild formula, and that in and of itself is ridiculously exciting. This next category is one of my absolute favourites because it's all about one of my favourite genres, RPGs. And the nominees are Dark Souls Remastered, Shin Megami Tensei 5, Pokémon Legends Arceus, Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And the award for Best RPG goes to Xenoblade Chronicles 3. This game is something truly special to me. It was one of those games which wasn't just a game, it was an experience. Almost everything about this game, from the hugely deep and complex combat, to the stunningly composed music, the ingeniously crafted areas, and the beautifully written story which made me cry so many times, is just perfect. I absolutely love this game to pieces. It is my new third favourite game of all time, and I have a review in the works, and it's massive to the degree that I'm going to have to release it in parts over multiple weeks. Yeah. What more can I say? Play this game. Before I announce the FakeFantum Game of the Year, we have, last but not least, the Viewer's Choice category. This is an award for the best game of this year, voted for by my community in a poll. The nominees for the Viewer's Choice Award are Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Pokémon Legends Arceus, Splatoon 3, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And with a strong lead of 35% of the votes, this year's Viewer's Choice Award goes to Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Thank you to everyone who voted in the poll. And finally, it's come to this, the Game of the Year category. FakeFantum's #1 game of 2022. The nominees are... Oh, who am I kidding? It's Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Nothing more needs to be said. I sound like a broken record at this point, but out of all the games I played this year, and potentially of the decade so far, this is my absolute favourite, and I think I've been very clear as to why I think that. Also, Kirby was completely snubbed from winning any awards this year in my ceremony, but it was seriously nothing personal. It just didn't work out for the little chap. I absolutely loved Kirby and the Forgotten Land to pieces, and to be honest, it would probably be my game of the year if Xenoblade 3 didn't come out this year. So if you want to see how much I enjoyed that game, my review for this will also be linked above and below. And folks, with that, I conclude the FakeFantum Awards of 2022. Thank you to everyone who made it this far in the video, and to everyone who subscribed to the channel this year. It's been super crazy, and I never expected to do as well as I have, and I'm so grateful to everyone who took the time to watch my stuff. I still have at least one more video to release this year, covering my predictions for 2023. So if you don't want to miss that, please consider subscribing and following me on Twitter if you haven't already, so you don't miss it. And with that, thank you very much for watching, stay safe out there, and I will see you all in the next one.